Well, a very good afternoon to all the listeners at 97 FM Radio City. The FIFA World Cup is finally here. We are fully settled in Moscow, waiting for the big kickoff today for what should be an interesting 64 matches. All the 32 teams are in and ready. The big question is who actually will go on and be the champion. Now, to kick off, of course, it's been a sad day as of yesterday for African football after Morocco, of course, lost out on a bid to host the 2026 World Cup, losing it to a joint bid from the United States, Mexico and Canada. Spoke to a couple of Morocco officials and other African officials who, for starters, were disappointed on losing out on the rights, but also some African countries who actually did not vote for Morocco, but voted for the USA, Mexico and Canada. The likes of Namibia in there, I think there's Lesotho, you have countries like South Africa, so we are very disappointed. But more to that, speaking to Mr. Daniel Amokachi, who was the spokesperson of the Morocco bid, saying they also were disappointed by some Arab countries who they thought would come up and support Morocco, but they went on and supported the USA, Canada and Mexico. So disappointing, but the Africans will have to take a step back and focus on the next World Cup. For now, we still only remain with the 2010 World Cup, and everyone will be waiting for an increased number of teams at the FIFA World Cup. That is in 2026, when there will be, of course, 48. But that aside, the football itself is proper here. Of course, everyone has been talking about the Spanish national side. Julian Lopetegui yesterday being sacked by the Spanish national side. They do suggest they weren't happy with his talks and contract conclusions with Real Madrid. They didn't feel they had good control over the entire situation, yet they had a contract with him. So that is a very big blow to the Spanish football fans. So many are wondering how that is going to affect the tactics, the morale in camp. He's had them through the qualifications. He's brought them to Russia. Everyone thought he had started a new style of play, or probably refined the style of play they had before, but he's gone now. They have made changes in the technical team, so we pretty much have to wait and see. Of course, the Portuguese fans are very happy that he leaves just 2 days to their big fixture, so Cristiano Ronaldo and company will be smiling ear to ear. But we all know how good the Spaniards are. They probably could go on and still do a very, very good job when it comes down to the World Cup. But all the action kicks off today. You have the opening ceremony, then you have Russia up against Saudi Arabia. Some of the footballing fans think this is not the biggest of fixtures, but it's a fixture that opens up the World Cup. It's the first time the World Cup is in this part of the world. Russia, the biggest nation on earth, is hosting the championship. I don't think they really think they will win the World Cup, but they would want to put in a very good performance, at least for their opening game. They take on a Saudi Arabia side that has very bad statistics at a World Cup. We all remember that big thrashing from Germany just 4 years ago. So it's going to be a big headline. Spoke to a couple of Saudi Arabia fans here at the hotel where I'm staying, and all of them do suggest it's a fixture they need to win, considering they have Egypt and Uruguay in the same group. Of course, the Egyptian football fans are still awaiting to see if Mohamed Salah is confirmed fully fit for the opening game against Uruguay. But for now, it all looks like Saudi Arabia will try and pick maximum points against what should be a hostile and packed crowd. The Russians will be in there. We do understand, of course, the President Vladimir Putin, the Rwandese President, Mr. Paul Kagame, His Excellency Paul Kagame is in the country as well, could be attending the opening game. So the Russians will be hoping to suddenly start off with maximum points. If you look at the group closely, you also think Russia needs maximum points against Saudi Arabia if they have a chance, because then it's a 6-pointer between Egypt and Uruguay, and whoever goes on to join the person who finishes on top. So that so far is the big update from Russia. We can't wait definitely for the opening game. I was in Russia for the FIFA Confederations Cup in 2017, just last year, and there wasn't that much buzz, but the buzz this time around is crazy. Right from the airport to the various cities around the stadium, the accreditation center where we even set up our studios, it's crazy. There are so many fans in Moscow at the moment. They are streaming all over streets, and it's of course a very beautiful city. So it's a proper World Cup. We shall get you as many updates as we can from Moscow, a couple of interviews later on as the tournament goes on as well. For now, do enjoy all the action. The World Cup is here, 64 matches, 32 teams, just one trophy to take. I'm Andrew Kabuura in Moscow for 97 FM Radio City.